Welcome, everybody, to One Stage at a Time, the podcast where we're playing through video games one stage at a time, not skipping any level. We are in the throes of hell itself in Doom, the original Doom from 1993. And we just played through the Gates of Limbo? At the Gates of Limbo?
It depends on what you look at, what version. It's either the Gate to Limbo or simply Limbo.
Okay, well, we're in Limbo right now. We're stuck floating in a white haze, except not at all. This was a pretty dynamic level. But anyways, I am Aaron Neeson. That voice you just heard is my co-host, Andy Prim. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Aaron.
And we are joined once again by Sam Ingersoll. Sam, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Gentlemen, let's talk about Doom.
Let's talk about Doom. So today we're playing through E3M7, Gate to Limbo, also known as Limbo in some versions. This is the penultimate stage of the third episode of the original Doom from 1993. And this would have been the second to last stage in the original release of the game. But of course, we'll be playing through the apocryphal fourth episode in due course. So let me hit you with some quick stats for the Gate to Limbo. The music is Waltz of the Demons, which we've heard before. And the par time is 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It is designed by our good friend, Sandy Peterson. There are 4 secrets in this stage. And as far as enemies, we've got 9 sergeants, 17 demons, 2 troopers, 9 lost souls, 9 Caco demons, and a single Baron of Hell. Fellas, what did you think of Limbo?
I thought it was a pretty cool level. Kind of frustrating a little bit, but because I got through it, I think that I wasn't annoyed by it. But I could easily see myself becoming annoyed by it. But on the whole, pretty cool level. Aside from a rough start for me, not exceptionally challenging. Like as far as like enemy difficulty. Like what the one Baron of Hell was like surprising, but not too hard to beat at all. And like the real challenge in this level was the finding things. It was seeking out the things you need to find.
Seeking out the things you need to find.
Yes,
with the floor damage.
Yeah, it was kind of irritating, frustrating level.
Mm-hmm.
Did not appreciate the maze, especially when I needed to find. I can't remember what it was, but I remember having to go through the maze and not only like small things, like okay, you go into the maze. We'll get into what the maze was, and there's 4 ways to go, and there's a hazmat suit by each one. But if you walk just too close to one entrance, you'll pick up like 2 hazmat suits on accident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thankfully it feels like they kind of knew what was going to happen because there was health all over the place in this level.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent a lot of time running around trying just to remember, like, fuck, where was the orange door?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where the orange door was.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent quite a while like that kind of level.
Yeah, I agree. It's a labyrinthine level. We have like at the start this big round area with it's like a blood pool in the middle of it and like a tower in the center. Kind of a cool centerpiece or set piece for the stage. But then every little side passage branching off of it is a total maze. And I found myself getting lost quite a few times in this level.
And it's for me, silly. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I got hung up trying to find forever I think it was the yellow key, the yellow skull. Oh my God. I couldn't find that thing for so goddamn long.
What makes this so frustrating though, is that it is labyrinth. It's like a labyrinth, but you keep going back and it's like, there's only 2 or 3 doors. There's literally only this way to go. But like, I keep getting turned around. I can't remember where everything's at. That's just what was so frustrating. It made me feel stupid.
Yeah. Well, that may not be the game's fault, but there are all 3 skull keys are present here. The blue key is easy enough to find. It's just kind of sitting out in the open. But to get the red key, you have to venture into this hellish, like underworld, under area that's like kind of like a sewer or something, but it's just full of blood, damaged floor. And there's like a little maze down there, and that's where all the rad suits come in. There's like 7 rad suits in this stage. Because they're temporary, like they'll all be in the same area, but you get the sense you're going to pass through it a few times. So you get one, and then you come back, and then you use another one. But if you keep getting lost, you're going to use up all those rad suits at some point, and then you just have to tank the damage floor. But anyway, you have to find the red key in the under maze, and then the yellow key is through another frustrating, not quite maze, but a frustrating sequence of rooms, which we'll
Yeah,
get to.
a teleporter puzzle sort of thing with teleporters being in like lava pits and hurt
Yeah.
floors and stuff. And
Yep.
ugh.
Yeah, that noise that Aaron just made sums it up for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I was able to figure it out before running out of rad suits. I was close.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I didn't get super annoyed with it. But like I could easily see myself being really pissed off at this level.
One thing that I do like is the aesthetics of this level. Like, I
Mhm.
like the part where you cross that little narrow bridge over the lava and you turn around and there's two cacodemons coming out of these square windows,
Mhm.
like up above. It gives it, I don't know, like a church type feel, like the architecture.
Did the cacodemons just sit there for you guys too?
I didn't go far enough. I heard them and peeked around and killed them. So like they couldn't come out, and they were just shooting their fireballs into the like corner.
They didn't
Yeah.
even shoot fireballs at me. I was like, this is just a shooting gallery. And I was expecting it to be like the Crybaby Imp, where like I kill these two demons, like, and make me like, oh, no big deal, whatever. And then like just, a cyber demon comes stomping out of nowhere and just
You intimidated them. You used your hockey ability, the color of the conqueror.
yeah, they just gave up. They're like, we can't. We lay down our arms and accept our fate.
Sam, have you gotten to that point in One Piece where Luffy can beat guys just by intimidating them?
No. I One Piece is an anime and manga that I've never really put a lot of time into. I think I've never
okay.
gotten past the weird clown guy or the cat guy, whichever one comes
Oh
second.
wow,
Very early on.
That's
yeah.
very early, yeah. Because they fight the clown guy and then the cat guy, but
Yeah.
that's like issue 10,
Mhm.
and the stuff I'm talking about is like issue 700.
Yeah. It's just one of those things I never could get into. I appreciate it because it's just the sheer magnitude. It's on the level of like,
Dragon
Ball Z. Yeah.
Naruto.
But it's something I've never really kind of glommed onto yet. I'm sure one day, when we're 20 years from now, when the final issue comes out, because he died, we'll
Right, yeah.
start it.
Well, anyway, to bring it back around, Aaron used the intimidation ability, the hockey technique, to render those cacodemons insensate. They were paralyzed by just your raw masculinity.
Didn't even know I had it. That's how it is. That's how the big dick swagger is.
Well, that's how it was for Luffy. He didn't know he had it at first either.
We don't know.
Another thing that's frustrating about that, back in that room where you've dropped down into the maze, is the fact that you drop down. You have to go through the maze no matter what. You can't go back once you drop into that maze.
Yeah.
So if you've accidentally used up all the damn suits and you're stupid and you don't remember that dropping down is the maze and you cuss a lot, you have a frustrating time.
Yeah, you're gonna have a bad time.
This sounds like we're speaking from experience.
Yes, it's very personal.
Well, I got lost. I got lost in the maze part a little bit, but I got even more lost in the teleporter maze puzzle after that, because like there's all these doors, red key doors, spaced all throughout the map. And once you get the red key from like the Undercroft area, you have to go try all these red doors. And behind each one of them is a teleporter. And there's like 5 or 6 of these. And the teleporters all lead to different areas. And you pretty much need to go through all of them to activate all the switches and get the yellow key so that you're able to finally open the exit door. But I got so confused trying to remember which one was which, and they're all in damage floor. So I'm like, oh God, I gotta run. I have no time to stop and think. I gotta keep moving.
Yeah. It's like I felt confident because there were so many damn rad suits. Like they were everywhere, and I made sure, like after getting 2 on accident one time, I made sure to be really careful and just get one at a time, and like just running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it added a sense of urgency, which was nice because like you could just wander in here forever, but at the same time it did just like it added anxiety to the whole thing. You kill all these monsters and then you're like, fuck, where do I go? Is it behind that one giant pillar that I need to go? There's a teleporter there, I know, but oh no, I did this one already. Fuck, which one?
Yeah.
What? Where's the one? I went through it before once. I went through it before once forever ago, and I was like, oh, there it is, and now I don't know where it is. And you're just like, fucking
Yeah. It's like there's a lot to mentally keep track of which door is which and which one you've been through already. I found this stage pretty frustrating on the whole. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. Not one of my favorites.
Mm-mm. I didn't hate it, but man, was it just like everything I did felt like unnecessary. Like it just felt like even when I fought the Baron of Hell, I don't know if you guys had this problem or not, but there's like a wall that drops down and up and it just kept going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. I think the deal with that is if the Baron's standing on it, it can't go all the way up to the ceiling, so it'll come back down.
He never got off of it for my fight.
Yeah.
It was super annoying.
So what you're telling me is that you guys felt like this was sort of a stopgap, and you were just sort of like, sort of like in a place that you don't really feel super engaged, but at the same time,
Yeah, is there a word for that?
like,
High school.
you're not quite there. You're just sort of existing in this level. You weren't enjoying it. You weren't hating it. It's just
Freshman comp.
It's I was stuck in the middle with you, Aaron. No, I think what you're getting at is that this stage is called Limbo, and it was as if we were languishing in a liminal state between two worlds.
Almost as if it was planned that way.
Yeah. Sandy Peterson, he was like, I got an idea. I'm really going to fuck with these boys this time. Here we go. And Romero was in his office just like massaging hair care products into his long, luscious hair, just not even paying attention at that point.
Fucking funny haha man, Sandy Peterson strikes
funny
again.
Haha man.
So
well,
I was thinking about the rad suits a lot. For some reason, the rad suits were on my mind. We were talking a long time ago when we first encountered them about how like they run out, which doesn't really make sense. But with something we didn't really like, I don't remember taking into account. Maybe they corrode from the inside out.
Because say more about that.
I'm saying that maybe the Doom guy is such a sweaty, hot beast that he is eating these rad suits out from the inside.
His personal tang is corroding them away.
True. You know what's one thing I've never seen happen in this entire time we've been playing this game?
What's that?
Doom guy take a shower.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot in hell, guys, and you get sweaty.
Dude, there's some stank in that craw.
Sam, you know how when you play Bloodborne, how you just get soaked in blood after like 2 seconds, and it just stays on your character until you like quit the game? That's what Doom guy's like all the time.
Honestly, I'm surprised he needs a hazmat suit to walk through all that stuff. He's got so much gore caked on his body.
Yeah,
just walk in acid and probably would have to eat through that first.
Well, the hazmat suit's not to protect him; it's to protect everyone else from his stench.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I think that his abs ate through his power armor. Like that's why it's sticking out. They cannot be contained, and the suit can't contain it either. No way.
That's why the Baron of Hell kept going up on that platform, Sam. He was just smashing the up button, like, get me out of here, get me out of here. Oh man, that reminds me of did you ever see Osamu Tezuka? No, not Osamu Tezuka. Katsuhiro Otomo, his movie Memories, the anime. You know the one about the guy who accidentally takes that drug that makes him really stinky?
Yeah.
And the stench is so powerful, it's like messing up electronics and
killing
like,
people or something.
Yeah. And like the army's trying to stop him, and he doesn't realize that he got it. He's just like this idiot who's trying to deliver this briefcase or something. And like, they're like, no, go back. Like all their machinery's failing. He's like ruining the economy of Japan.
It's pretty great. Yeah. Great little short story.
That's amazing.
That's the Doom guy, but
that's Doom
in hell.
Guy. Yeah.
I was just trying to stop his stench.
Well, because there's even a part in that short where the guy, like at the end, there's like this operative who's wearing like this super mech suit thing, and he's like, arrived at the headquarters, and it turns out it's the main character who's been inside the mech suit, and it's been containing his stench. And when he takes the helmet off, they're like, no. Yep. So
amazing.
That's our stinky Doom guy. He's making his way through Limbo. But yeah, I got to tell you guys, I'm not a fan of this stage. But you know who is? Our good friend Big Mac Davis. He says it's one of his favorite stages.
It seems like it's like whatever he likes, I don't, and whatever I like, he doesn't.
I agreed with him on Mount Erebus. I do like that one, but I can't get behind him on this verdict. Limbo, I don't know. For a penultimate stage, I wanted something like more bloody, visceral, like some really
Blood everywhere.
heart-pounding
The floor's
combat.
blood.
But I want to create the blood.
Ah, yes.
That's what I'm saying. I want to be the progenitor of the blood.
Maybe this is like the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I suspect that the next level is probably going to be like that. So for the penultimate level, they wanted to have something a little bit different. Like they wanted to have, a puzzle map, find an exploration map. And then the next one will probably be a huge bloodbath of monsters swarming everywhere and eating your face.
Well, we'll find out next week.
We'll find out. I know already, but I don't know.
Yes. Because that's right, Aaron. Next week on the program, we will be playing through Dis, the final level of Doom, at least the original release of Doom.
Mhm.
Certainly the final level of episode 3, Dis, the ultimate Dis track. And coincidentally, folks, that will be our final episode of 2020. So yeah, look forward to that. It'll also be our Christmas episode. So it'll have to be a holiday themed episode, fellas.
Oh yeah.
How appropriate.
I'll bring the jolly. You bitches ain't ready for my jolly. It's gonna be so fucking jolly.
I don't want your jolly. I don't want.
You're gonna get my jolly all over your face.
I don't want your jolly. I don't want your jolly.
My jolly cannot be contained, much like Doom guy's musk.
Holly jolly all over my face. What is a boy to do? Yeah, well, okay. So I honestly don't have much else to say about Limbo as a stage. I found it confusing and frustrating. Some cool ideas, aesthetically. I like the architecture. I like the hellish architecture. I think the idea is good of having the key puzzle, looking for the right exit. But just too many frustrating elements for my taste. But what were your final thoughts on the Limbo experience?
My final thoughts were, I was thinking about how much blood was in this level and that it must be like the sewer, like place of refuse, like the bottom of hell. So like all the killing we've done is all leaked down into here.
Yeah.
And then after finishing, it's like, this also must be what it was, the same idea, but for Sandy Peterson's ideas. And like all the shitty refuse and bad ideas he had just lying on the floor, he just kind of scraped together into a level.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Damn, Sam.
The deadline was approaching, and Romero was like, "Oh, hey, Sandy, are you done with those levels yet?" And Carmack was like, "We need the levels by Thursday.
Oh, we need one more level." He's like, "Oh, fine." And he just put that together, except for one aspect, which was the aesthetics. The look of the level was awesome. I thought they did a really cool, like, especially that place where you go in, the two, Caco demons are there. The color scheme of like the black and red was all really cool looking.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was not fun to play.
I agree 100p. Aaron, what were your final thoughts?
I gotta disagree with you guys. Like as far as I understand that you didn't really enjoy it that much, and that's fine. And like I said, if I had played it a little differently, I think that I would have been the same way. But I disagree that it's Sandy Peterson's bottom of the barrel stuff. I feel like he put I really do. I feel like he put a lot of thought and a lot of planning into this level. I think that this probably was one of his babies. And I mean, like,
baby.
Like it or hate it, I feel like he really put some tender loving care into it. I enjoyed it on the whole. I wouldn't want, a ton of levels like this, but as far as one level, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine, and I had a good time.
I can see what you mean there. Like it's a unique level. It sticks out in your memory, kind of like Mount Erebus. There's only one like that.
Cat attack,
folks! My cat has decided to join the podcast.
Oh my God, that is cat crotch.
Say hi to the folks at home, Helen.
I've had many cats interrupt many podcasts, so it's only, Aaron, you have to get do you have any pets?
We have one dog.
That's
one little dachshund.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yeah,
we had two, but Roland sadly passed. But cats interrupting the podcast only make the podcast better.
It's true.
Roland had to visit Limbo to assist Doom Guy.
Yeah, he's down there fucking shit up.
That's right. If I know Roland.
In a hazmat suit that's way too big for him.
Oh, that's so adorable. He's doing
He
that
would be
weird
so
dog,
cute in it.
that run they do where they rock
Uh-huh.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Just the helmet, like here's just like a from inside the helmet of the hazmat suit.
Then a BFG projectile shoots out of his mouth.
Blows out the top of the helmet, killing everything in front of him.
Okay, back
Good
to your
dog.
regularly scheduled. Yeah, the shout outs to the good boy. Salute. Wherever
Roland.
you are, Roland, I know you're doing the Lord's work. But to get back to what I was saying, Aaron, about Limbo, I can see where you're coming from there. Like that despite our screwing around, it probably had faith in this level to put it in the penultimate spot here. Like you're probably right that Sandy liked it, and everyone thought it was a good level. But and I guess as like a prototype, like maybe nothing like this had really been done before. They thought it was interesting, but I think maybe by today's standard, maybe I'm viewing it in like a modern light, but it just doesn't work for me for whatever reason.
And that's fucked up. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's not to your taste. Maybe the next level will fucking rock your world, baby.
Well, we'll find out in a week's time. But for now, fellas, what do you say we go to the lore corner?
Take me to the lore corner, Andy.
Let's do it. Okay, well, Aaron, as a good Catholic boy, are you familiar with the concept of limbo?
It doesn't exist anymore. I know that. As far as Catholics go.
Does it not?
Cancel culture's really overstretched its bounds, I think.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that they got rid of it, or maybe they just made it so that babies don't go there anymore.
Yeah, it's babies can't go to limbo. Or
maybe that's it.
Or it's not officially recognized, at least according to the Wikipedia article that I read today.
Okay.
But, let me show this to you guys. Vamp for time for a second while I pull this image up.
I want to suck your blood.
I want to suck your penis.
this is what he meant by vamp, right?
No, I don't drink blood. Other fluids, though.
Yes, I am a cock
face.
vampire.
While making that face.
Cock Dracula.
Cockpire.
The main vein pyre.
I want to eat your ass. It's cool. I'm a millennial vampire.
My God, we love eating ass.
This face again.
It's because we can't afford food.
That's right. We got to make do. Just
right.
like our grandpappy did.
Was that enough vamping for you, Andy?
Now that nobody's listening. No, that was glorious. Thank you, gentlemen. Check out this image. This is a painting called Limbo by a unknown anonymous artist who is a follower of Hieronymus Bosch. Of course, Hieronymus Bosch, famous for painting many awesome fucked up paintings, and this one, it follows in that great tradition. But yeah, this is Limbo.
This is some Ben Garrison shit with that Superman Jesus busting down the door.
Dude, okay. Can we get into this? Because I was reading about Limbo today, and like the whole, like, this is in like the Catholic catechism. So this is true. Okay, so check this out. The idea is that people couldn't go, like dead souls couldn't go to heaven until Jesus died. They were all trapped in limbo. So everyone from the Old Testament, Adam and Eve, Noah, Moses, Abraham, David, Solomon, all those motherfuckers were all trapped in limbo for thousands of years until Christ died. So they're just hanging out in limbo, which is like the edge of hell. So it's like, it's not the worst part of hell where like the damned go, but it kind of sucks, right? Until fucking John McClane Christ like kicks the doors down, comes in with like this 10-foot long spear and just fucking lays waste, just destroys asses.
Panama.
It was either that song, Sam, or Dracula by Rob Zombie.
Just hear like
bitches and burn through the witches.
Like they're all hanging out, like playing poker by the door and everything. He's like, they just hear like, like, hear something? No, I don't know, man. Nothing's happened in 1,000 years. I swear to God, Panama. He's got a perm.
He kicked the door open and said, "Daddy's home."
So Jesus Christ dies. He goes down to hell.
Uh-huh.
and he fucking kicks ass for 3 days.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
He just stomps buttholes for 3 days.
Yeah, because like he dies on what, Thursday or Wednesday, and then there's Easter Sunday, right? So in the 3 days between that, the whole time he was just kicking ass in hell.
They should
He's
make a movie about that, man. It would be fucking awesome.
He's down there shirtless in his loincloth and a cape and a giant spear, just fucking drop kicking demons left and right.
Laying out one-liners
with their little,
like-
I love their little hats. They have little metal hats on. And now I feel bad for the demons. They're just doing their job.
You know, he's like laying out one-liners like Schwarzenegger and Commando too, right?
Or Charles Bronson. Yeah, he's just like, he's dropping one-liners left and right in the, great style of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Charles Bronson, Sly Stallone. And this incident is referred to as the harrowing of hell.
By Catholics?
Yeah, this is in the official Catholic Catechism. Like this is like the Pope like agrees that this happened. However, there you mentioned earlier whether or not babies are in limbo. This is a serious question among Catholics. So I was reading about all this shit today, and when I got to the harrowing of hell, I was like, fuck yeah, Jesus! Like I'm all in on Christianity now. Like Jesus is Doom Guy. Jesus is literally Doom Guy.
Oh, that's what
Oh, man.
it is. It's just the first person in it's the 3 days in limbo.
That's what it is, baby.
3 parts, 3 episodes originally.
He goes to hell on purpose and just fucks everything up. However, so that's called the limbo of the patriarchs. Patriarchs meaning all the old dudes from the Old Testament who were trapped there. That's official. Like there's evidence for that in the Bible. The Pope and everyone in the magisterium, they're like, yep, this is catechism. It happened. However, there has long been debate about whether or not unbaptized babies are in limbo. And if so, did Christ send all of them? Did he free them too? And
did he send them all the way to hell?
Or did he kick their ass?
Yeah, because technically they're pagans. They were never baptized. They haven't accepted Christ. So, they're down there with like Virgil and all the Romans who aren't allowed to go to heaven because they were pagans. But so like the Pope is basically like, well, we hope that Jesus saved the babies, but but we don't have doctrinal support to prove that he did, so we don't really know for sure.
He could have roided out and just smashed the shit out of all them babies. We don't know.
He could have just been like, of course he saved the babies. He's Jesus Christ. He saved the babies. That's what Jesus Christ does. He saves babies. He saves all of us. He saves babies. He could have just said that. It's all made up anyways. It doesn't matter. Just say that. Sit on your fancy chair where you're infallible from, apparently, and say it. And it's the word of God, dude.
And there were like I told you, I was reading about the harrowing of hell, and it's just like a fucking metal story. And I was totally invested. And then I got to the limbo of the infants section, and it went on for pages and like Wikipedia pages, just so many pages of this. So boring. It was just like all, like fucking Thomas Aquinas writing like some kind of thesis about whether or not Christ saved the babies in hell. It is insane.
You're reading Lord of the Rings and it's just orc ass kicking for pages and pages. And then it gets into the history of the House of Elrond. You're just like, fuck, shut up.
Yeah. You go from the Battle of Pelennor Fields to the fucking Silmarillion.
Yeah.
I want to point out that I don't know if it's just like a artifact of the JPEG or some fuzz or something when they took the picture, but it looks like Jesus has the angriest eyebrows in this painting and it's cracking me up.
Yeah, I recommend anybody who is listening to the audio version right now, just pop over to the video version for a second. It's going to be on Facebook and YouTube.
Or just Google Limbo by the Follower of Hieronymus Bosch.
Or that, and check out this wild painting. It's great.
It's tight. I want it on my walls, baby.
If nothing else, I want Superman Jesus blown up and like.
I realized which song is actually playing, and it's Power Man 5000's "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor."
Of course,
that's definitely what was playing when this happened.
Yeah, because I love that the weapon he's holding. It looks like, is this the crucifix itself that he's repurposed into a weapon?
That would
Yeah,
be
yeah. He shrank
badass.
it down and
That's his
whittled it into
BFC,
a pokey
guys.
stick.
He
His
looks like he's 10 feet tall too, if you compare
Yeah.
him to the other figures.
BFC, his big fucking crucifix.
It emanates 40 invisible tracers every time he activates it. All right, so that is Limbo. Truly, the harrowing of hell, one of the most metal stories in the Catholic, I suppose, all Christian tradition. Jesus is Doom Guy, canonically confirmed. We've unlocked the secrets. This is maybe the best and most important lore corner we've ever done in
I
the
agree.
course of this series.
I'm going to become the Pope, guys. Listen to me, hear me out. I'm going to become the Pope so I can sit on the chair where I'm infallible and say, Doom Guy is Jesus Christ. And then it's the word of God.
We need to get some artist that's good at painting to like paint over this as Doom related stuff. Like make Jesus Doom Guy and all the guys out here, like the guy with the big face that's a Caco, make that a Caco demon and a bunch of imps and barons of hell.
Oh yeah,
That would be amazing.
This is rife for memeing. Aaron, you know what you have to do.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
Well, before we leave the lore corner, a brief word about Mormon Limbo, because of course, so much of this game is the product of Sanford Peterson, of course, a Mormon from Missouri, which is a great kind of guy to be. But the Mormons do believe in a kind of limbo. Unfortunately, it's not quite as tight and metal as this limbo. Their limbo is like, when you die, if you're not a Mormon, basically, you go to kind of like an in-between place. They don't necessarily call it limbo. They call it something in like the spiritual realm or something like that. But it's like you're not damned, but you don't get to be God of your own planet either. So you go to this in-between place where it's like kind of nice. It's like you're not being tortured. You're hanging out. It's like a nice apartment. Maybe the cable isn't that good. You don't get all the stations. Your
Basic
Wi-Fi is not
package.
always coming in. You got to reset the router, but it's okay. You're doing it, and you have to like study Bible verses and stuff in the hopes that eventually, like you receive enlightenment, and then presumably you get some kind of better reward. But that's what it is. Like everything Mormon, it's like it's not that bad. However, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's like, how directors become like pussies as they get older generally? Like Spielberg used to have Indiana Jones shooting through 8 Nazis at one time. And then he put out Crystal Skull and it was a bunch of baby shit. Like, that's sort of how like religions have gotten over time. They used to be metal as fuck. And now they're just like, yeah, be happy. You'll go and you'll hang out in this room for a while and it'll be okay. Or you'll go on a spaceship. You'll go on a spaceship far away and Xenu will be there and everybody will be happy.
Oh no, Xenu's the bad guy though.
He was all right. He was misunderstood. Sometimes you got to dump a bunch of your people in volcanoes, whatever.
In case folks at home, if you're not sure, Aaron is talking about the actual doctrinal beliefs of the Church of Scientology.
Which is a church.
It is a church and you shouldn't question it. But one last word about Mormons and limbo. The harrowing of hell is apparently rather important to the whole Mormon ideology. I don't know if you guys have heard of the idea of Mormons baptizing dead people who like weren't Mormons. They do this all the time. Like there was a big deal when they found out they were trying to baptize Anne Frank, like, with like somebody from the church like came in and they baptized them in place of Anne Frank. But they do this for everybody, like everyone who's ever died, they do this for. And it's part of their belief that like anyone who wasn't Mormon, they're in this limbo state, but they can't leave that state unless they've received all the ordinations and whatever that they're supposed to get, which you can only do on earth. So that's why they're doing all of these baptisms for dead people.
They're nice guys.
They're nice. I mean, they mean well. They mean well.
The old Catholic Church would have just said, stay there. Fuck you.
Well, until fucking John McClane Christ showed up and kicked the doors down. All right.
Which was badass.
It was badass. Okay, so let us turn our attention now, boys, to some of the news of the day. There's some important gaming news that we need to discuss. First and foremost, Sephiroth in Super Smash Brothers. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of that announcement?
About time, really, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, Cloud was in the last Smash Brothers, right? Was that his first debut?
Yep.
Yeah, long time coming, I would say.
I agree.
Yet another sword user, but he looks like he's a bit slower, which is
and like he is another sword user, but he's the original anime sword boy, so I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I didn't see it coming, which is a good thing, and it's cool. I think it's pretty cool. I haven't played any of the Final Fantasies, so it wasn't like one that got me super excited, but I know he's a big one, which is pretty cool. And he's a cool character. You know, he's anime cliche at this point, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
He is. Yeah, I feel like it's come back around so far because like Final Fantasy VII came out in like 1997, I think.
Yeah.
And like at the time, there wasn't like it wasn't a cliche, but it's come back around so much that he looks like a cliche.
It's because of him that cliche exists. He's kind of like the progenitor of that kind of meme.
Yeah, long hair.
Not specifically, but like of the time.
Yeah. Like long hair, andro boy, long sword. You know,
very moody.
Very moody. Extremely moody.
Like I said, I hadn't played any of the games. I didn't know anything about him, so I read about him on Wikipedia a little bit, and I kind of wish I hadn't. He was much cooler in my mind before I found out that he was a soldier who got alien DNA injected into him, and
he's kind of a sad character.
He is,
really.
yeah. And the cool thing is that like really Sephiroth is not Sephiroth. Like Sephiroth was a soldier guy, but the entity that you're encountering is this alien named Genova that sort of possessed Sephiroth's body.
But Genova's also another character at the same time, right?
Right.
Well, think of it this way. It's like her cells are her. It's kind of like the thing where like every part of her is her. So she kind of like splits apart. There's multiple versions of her and they use her cells and they kind of like take over and basically reconstitute inside of him.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. You just, I mean, if you don't understand it, then you're a fool with a smooth brain.
I mean, I get it. Of course I understand it. I didn't say it. I get it, but you know, yeah.
I think it's tight. I mean, it came out of left field for me. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. They did it again, Nintendo. I thought if they did another Final Fantasy character, it would maybe be like Noctis from 15 or I don't know, someone from another game. I didn't expect them to double down on Final Fantasy VII, but I'm glad they did. I mean, if I had to pick another Final Fantasy character, I'd probably pick Sephiroth.
Yeah.
I guess some people are salty about it on the internet, but
of course,
people are always going to be salty.
The people are always going to be salty. I think it's a cool pick. I still have like 3 big ones that I wish would be added to the game. 2, at least 2. No, 3. I have 3 that I wish would be added to the game, and that's Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, and who was my last one? Shit,
Doom Guy.
It wasn't Doom Guy. That would be fucking cool. Though.
Come on, yeah.
I had like
no,
Doom
it was
Guy's,
Jesus.
He's now it's Jesus. Jesus for Smash.
Jesus has entered the fray.
Yeah.
This level is Limbo.
Jesus crucifies the competition.
Yes. Yeah. Jesus for Smash. But speaking of Nintendo and people being salty, have you guys been following #FreeMelee?
I know about it. Yeah, it's pretty kind of. I don't know. It just seems like not just Melee, but like it seems like Nintendo just hates the competitive scene. Of Smash Brothers in general.
Oh, they despise it. Yeah, they can't stand it.
No matter what version, it's just them. I can kind of understand them not wanting them to promote a modded version, like a modded version of emulated version of one of their older games. But at the same time, it's like, come on, man, you look like nothing. You just look like a bully. You just look like a bully. That's all it is.
Yes, like they clearly don't care for competitions and don't care to support them. Perhaps they've correctly identified that there's no money in esports, and that any company that's running esports tournaments is just flushing money down the drain. However, that's beside the point. In this particular case, that has nothing to do with their decision. So for those of you who aren't in the know, there was this tournament that I guess they do it every year, but they couldn't do it this year because of COVID. So they were going to do it virtually, which means, you guessed it, emulation. They were going to use the popular Dolphin emulator, which is a Wii emulator that also plays GameCube games, to emulate Melee. and do it over the internet with this application that someone developed that's apparently a very stable application for playing Melee over the internet. And Nintendo, of course, didn't want them to make copies of their game and emulate it for the purposes of this tournament. And so they asked them to stop doing that. And because of that, fans on the internet have gotten very upset at Nintendo.
What if they could all prove? What if part of the entry fee was to prove that you owned a copy and that it was a copy of the disc that you already owned?
That would be cool. I'm not sure it works that way with the program, but if
I mean, that's how they
I guess
get,
it would be okay.
That's how they get those files in the first place, is they rip them straight from the discs. And it's actually legal to emulate games if you own the copy of the game. It's like a weird gray area. That's how streamers can get around with it. But it's still, it just seems like, to a point where they, was it Splatoon? So people had free Melee names in the tournament and they weren't allowed to compete because of it. It split, it bled into more other things. And that just makes it seem like they're just being a little mean about it.
Wasn't it even more than that? They canceled the Splatoon tournament because a bunch of people had that. Like they full up just canceled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. It feels it's not a good look.
No, it's definitely not a good look.
And it's certainly vindictive.
It's just like, come on, man.
But the thing is, these people, these baby gamers, they don't get it. Yelling at Nintendo is like yelling at the tides.
Oh yeah, nothing will come of it. No, there's nothing at all. Especially if they're not Japanese,
Nintendo's like that. What is it like in South Park? The like Comcast guy's like, oh well, I guess you'll just have to go to competition, won't you? Rubbing his nipples, it's like Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. They're like, you're not gonna.
Nope.
What are you gonna play? PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale? Fuck you! Like they know that there's no peer for Smash. Like as far as that type of fighting game.
It's like that Simpsons Treehouse of Horror where King and Kodos are running for president. They're like posing as Al Gore and George Bush or whichever. No, I forget what it was, but anyway. And then they get revealed at the end, and the one guy's like, I don't know, I'm going to vote for third party. And Kodos is like, go ahead, throw your vote away.
Yeah.
I can just see it. It must be frustrating for Melee fans and Smash fans in general. To like be the one fighting game that has no support from the people who made it.
Yeah.
Where it's like even the smallest, shittiest fighting game has usually gets some kind of support from the devs when it comes to competitive scenes.
That's true.
And it's Nintendo, and it's Smash. It's such a big deal that Nintendo basically hates the idea, I guess, of any kind of competitive.
Or they just don't care to invest any resources in it. I mean, like, I guess my thinking on like tournaments and things like that for games like Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever is probably that the companies mainly see that as a way to like build interest and sustain interest in the game, and that they're not making any kind of revenue from the tournament itself. If anything, they're probably losing money from it. And Nintendo looks at that and they're like, but we like money. And we think people are going to buy our game anyway. So fuck you. We're not going to, if you want to have a tournament, that's fine, but you got to get our permission and we're not going to put any resources into it.
It's not like the people who play in those tournaments aren't getting Smash Ultimate too, though. They definitely have it and are playing it. All Nintendo has to do is not be actively negative and malicious.
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing in this case was that they saw that there were going to be like 50 or 100 gamers participating in this tournament, and they knew they would all be emulating the game, and they were like, okay, we're not cool with that. We don't want you to do that, And I know there have been cases, like legal cases, that's like you can have a backup copy of an emulated game on your computer if it's a game that you own and you only make one copy or whatever. But from Nintendo's point of view, they're like, we don't think that you're just using it for archival purposes. We think that you're actively committing piracy.
The worst part though is that most other fighting game companies have had not exactly similar issues, but like where people basically the reason why they're doing that is because there's just no. I mean, well, it's weird. Melee's a weird thing because people just won't let Melee go for some reason to a point where like they're complaining about like you can't even use. You have to use a GameCube controller, or they consider it cheating if you use like a hitbox or something. It's really ridiculous. But like with other fighting games, they've had like. like they were gonna do Evo, right?
Uh-huh.
And then COVID happened, and then they were like, we're gonna do Evo Online. All of a sudden, the lineup was completely different because all the popular games that were from Japan have dog shit netcode, which just means like it's laggy and it's horrible to play online. So they had to get all these other games that were really good online, and they're like, I think them's Fighting Herds was one of them, which is like this game that was initially supposed to be a My Little Pony fighting game, but it's got really good netcode.
Huh.
And it was really popular. But like there's certain things that have started to happen that have like are kind of forcing the devs' hands in a way to just look and think about this other kind of netcode, and more companies are doing it. But I know that Nintendo's just gonna they're not even gonna it's just go away, leave me alone. I don't even want to think about why you were doing this in the first place, what you want at all. Fuck you. I'm gonna go back into my turtle back into this shell.
They just why don't just fucking put out Melee, sell it for $60. People will buy it on the Switch.
That's true.
There would still be a group of them like, it's not the original, or the code is slightly different. It would be hilarious if they like did it and it was the same emulated copy that they were going to use for the Maybe they are. Maybe that's why they did it, because they're about to put out a new version. Probably
maybe.
not, but
They've surprised me before, but
I mean, they have a GameCube emulator that they like. They put out Sunshine, so who knows? Who knows what the future might hold?
Like it's like got the last 3 Smash Brothers on it.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Smash Brothers Super Ultimate Edition.
Well, leave out Brawl because no one likes Brawl, but N64, Melee, and Smash 4, I'm sure people would be happy with.
It was they had every right to do it, but it was a dick move.
Yep.
Legally
agreed.
They're just like when they first were like pulling everyone's channels down on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right out the bat. They had every right to do it, but clearly oblivious to how the rest of the world was working and how the rest of the world was going to see that.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
Stone Age cavemen of online stuff. They continue to be that.
Yeah, they don't get that the games people want to play today are games like Cyberpunk 2027, or where you can customize the size of your dong and where you can get epilepsy by playing the game.
Hey, Nintendo was giving kids with epilepsy seizures back in the 90s. They were way ahead of the curve on that.
With the Pokemon cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we invented that. Mr. Yamauchi's like, yet again, the other companies stealing from Nintendo.
Stealing our ideas.
This is why we always have to be so secretive. We invented giving children epilepsy. All right. Well, I think that's it for the news roundup for this week. And with that, I think we're going to close out this episode. But guys, I want to run something by you here. For next week, this is our special holiday episode. And it's also our final episode of the year. And coincidentally, it's the final episode of the original Doom. So it's kind of fortuitous occasion. We didn't plan it that way. But I think that we should all say what our favorite game of 2020 was on the next episode.
Okay,
so
on the next episode.
Think about it between now and then. And then on the next episode, we'll do a rundown of our favorite games of 2020.
Games that we've played in 2020 or games that came out in 2020?
No. Favorite game that you played in 2020.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So
I don't play games.
It's like Donkey's Roundup that he does at the end of every year, where Super Mario Brothers 2 has been the winner for like 10 years running.
Super Mario Brothers.
The champion.
Sounds great.
Okay, so we'll do that next week. Please join us in a week's time, folks. We will be playing through Dis, episode map 8 of episode 3, Dis Track.
Just last episode of Doom.
Dis level.
Dis level. Sam, what are your words of wisdom for our listeners at home?
So, everyone out there in Gamerland, I just need you all to take a collective deep breath and remember that Cyberpunk 2077 is just a video game, and you need to relax. I was going to go into a little more detail. I got a whole pie chart in my mind of the reasons why people are freaking out so bad about it. And some of them are pretty obvious. But I also, if you're out there and you like the game and you didn't buy into the hype, you're just trying to enjoy it, don't go to Cyberpunk on Reddit. Go to low sodium cyberpunk. That's the subreddit you want, because there's no one freaking out. Literally, a guy, I was reading a thing where he was freaking out. So I'll be real quick. I've been playing it. I've been enjoying it. It's not blowing my mind, but it's not bad either.
You're a transphobic son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Transphobic
Canceled.
So he was complaining because there's a scene where the very first time you see, they're called Ripper Docs, and they're the people that like move your cybernetic implants around. It's a story thing. So there's a big long cut scene, and you're talking to them, and then later on, when you want to do different. Oh my God, hold on. My cat just went nuts on the window. It was really ridiculous. When you change out your cybernetics, it's just like you go to a shop, you pick one, you change it out, and you walk away. And he was like, that's unacceptable. There should be cutscenes. And then he went on a rant, 2 paragraphs, how there should be similar cutscenes when you buy hot dogs from the hot dog vendors on the street. And I was like, this is a little out of hand. I think people are kind of a little out of hand on this. This is a bit ridiculous. And then I found the low sodium site. So low sodium cyberpunk for a normal, realistic look at the game.
All right, that seems like good advice. If you're a normal, non-psychotic gamer, please check out low sodium cyberpunk. But we will continue to check in on the regulars subreddit, because we enjoy seeing nerds have insane meltdowns on the internet.
I'm a mod. I haven't even played the game, and I'm a mod there. So,
all right. Thank you, Sam. And Aaron, what do you want to say to our lovely listeners at home?
I want to say thank you, everybody, for listening. Please go to onestageatatime.com for more of our episodes and links to all of our socials and fun stuff. No turfs allowed. Get fucked, all of you turfs out there.
J.K. Rowling, if you're listening, turn it off.
Get fucked, J.K. Go cry into your billions of dollars. And please like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week for our Happy Christmas episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays episode.
Don't be a bigot, Aaron.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know that I'm a good Catholic boy, and it's the only one true religion. We say Merry Christmas in this damn house. Andy, give us that sign off, baby.
Jesus is the Baba Yaga. Jesus is John Wick. Save and continue.